Traders, Joseph here from Eightcap. So we're looking at the Australian dollar to the US dollar at this stage. Now we know what happened on Friday with a disappointing non-farm payrolls figure, slightly higher unemployment and slightly lower average earnings. We did see the dollar take another massive hit, and we can see how that was impacted. The risk currencies like the euro, the Aussie, and the pound with very strong rallies into Friday. So we've seen a bit more buying today. It's currently the Aussie's trading at 0.03% higher. We are sitting in this sort of resistance slash supply area, and we can see that just here, just highlighting that there. And so the Aussie will have to beat that resistance point to get this trend to continue on. Now, looking at it right now, we can see we've got a trend break. We've got a nice pattern here with a really good accumulation style pattern here. A bit of a you can see there it was a bit of a ending diagonal type wedge base pattern when we had the breakout. There's plenty of volume as well around the breakout, so it's another good little sign there. And had a little range break there as well before we really got going. So it all does look pretty good technically from what we've seen. And then, fundamentally with the dollar really shifting in momentum on the short term, the last 3 days of last week. So everything's sort of lined up quite nicely. So moving forward now, we've got a few things to. Well, the main thing we've got coming up tomorrow is the RBA rate decision. It's a public holiday in Australia. A public holiday in Melbourne. So the rest of the country will still be operating. Central bank will still be running, and the currency markets will still be running. So we will continue to see movement on the Aussie dollar tomorrow. Rates are expected to go up by 0.25%, and I think the real kicker here is going to be for the Aussies. In terms of the Aussie on the short term for the rest of the week is what comes out in the statement. So we do get the rate rise. That would be good on the short term. We should see a little bit of a tick up from buying. But what happens after that really comes down to what is in the statement and then what comments we do get from the RBA in, really about forward projection. How do they see inflation at the moment, and then how do they see, other aspects of the economy at the moment, and do they think that they're going to have to continue putting rates up? Will they leave the door open? Will that message be quite clear, or will it be very subtle? And will we see more of a dovish tone? And if we do get that, and it's sort of the last rate rise for the next period of time that they can sort of see, does that really impact the Aussie? And it may impact the Aussie, and we may see a bit of a fall. So it'll line up quite nicely to this resistance area depending on what happens for the rest of today. So I think that'll be the key tomorrow. What is really in the statement, and where does the RBA really see things at the moment? And will we see, any hints about potential further rate rises, or is that it? And then if that is the case, do we see the Aussie then buckle a bit under that pressure? Now, if we do see that message saying, quite clearly this could be the last rate rise for a period of time, the ASX also should respond positively to that, and the Aussie will probably respond negatively to that. So I think that'll be the key tomorrow. Other than that, price-wise, we are at a bit of a, at this resistance slash supply area. So if we see a pullback, we want to see a new higher low, and then we want to see a new move back up to test and break the previous high, just to tell us that a new trend starting. And regardless of the RBA tomorrow, if we do see the US dollar continue to really march lower, that could be the catalyst to really get that price pattern going, and then that will basically offset the RBA, and we'll continue to see buying if the dollar continues to move south. So there's the two real things we're going to be keeping an eye on this week and tomorrow for the Aussie, and what happens next for this move here that we're just circling here. So that's it. Thank you very much for tuning in. Wish you all the best. If you are trading the Aussie, it's 2:30 tomorrow Australian Eastern Daylight Time, and they are forecasting a rate rise of 0.25%, and we'll see what comes out in the statement. So all the best, and thank you very much once again, and bye for now.